from Canterbury Trails Farm. I wanted to tell you about a new article I have out in Prepper Survival Guide. This is the new Prepper Survival Guide for winter 2020-2021. It has, as always, awesome information in here, awesome articles by a wide assortment of awesome writers. I'm a little bit biased since I'm one of the writers. I have an article on senior style prepping, innovation and adaptation. We have the Backwoods Survival Guide and Prepper Survival Guide has a Facebook page, and often the editor and publishers will pose questions on what do you want to see articles on that page. And overwhelmingly, we've had a lot of people that have asked about being a senior citizen and prepping and how to go about doing that. I have an article on senior style prepping, that you don't have to give up your way of life and your lifestyle because you have aged and your body is not as strong and flexible as it used to be. So I give alternatives to standard ways of doing things in the prepping world, and I suggest other ways that you can do them in order to adapt to your aging body. I do quote Dylan Thomas, "Do not go gentle into that good night. Old age should burn and rave at the close of day. Rage, rage against the dying of the light." And Dylan Thomas wrote those words in 1951. I think they're still true. You don't have to decide to finish out your wonderful life by sitting in a chair and staring at a wall. There are ways that you can continue to prep and continue your lifestyle if you are elderly or disabled. A lot of them, it does require changing some attitudes on things and learning to do old things new ways. I will tell you that this is a pretty long article. I was pretty happy about how it came out here. I'll also talk about falls, because that's a leading accident cause of making you have to leave your own home too. And I speak from some degree of experience, although I'm not very old yet. I'm in my 50s, so early 50s. But I have had a physical, I guess you'd say, disability since I was 14. So I have had to learn how to adapt and do things that other people might do more simply. And as my husband ages, I've had to show him how to do things differently. It does take a degree of patience to, because I've been doing it different my whole life out of necessity. I can't lift over, I'm not supposed to lift over 10 pounds. When my babies were little, I had to have a rolling bassinet and a rolling playpen, and because I couldn't carry them really beyond the second month. I wasn't supposed to. Now I did push it up to about 20 pounds, but I do pay for it if I do that, because it does cause me pain and can hurt me very bad. I had to learn ways to compensate, how to raise my children and how to care for my children. A couple doorways, we had to remove door trim so things could fit in and out, and we had to change that door trim out, just like you would if you were in a wheelchair. There are ways that you have to accommodate, but it shouldn't stop you from achieving the lifestyle that you want to continue to live. You just have to think of new ways to do it. And so I addressed that in my article, and I hope that if you are somebody that's either approaching old age, I hate that word, approaching more mature age, or you're just a young person, and this is really important, because like when we bought our homestead, we're already in our mid to late 40s. So as we were gutting our house and doing things in there, and also if you watch, you know that our daughter is disabled. Our second daughter is adopted from China, and she has cerebral palsy. So when we have her tiny house, and so we have to, when we start gutting it, we have to think about in the future she may have to be in a wheelchair for a temporary or extended period of time. So if you're young and you have a homestead and you intend to stay there and die there, think about that now while you're young, and you can go ahead and adapt things, like make wider a little bit, the door frames a little bit wider. If you want to stay there for your whole life, you have to make these plans while you're young. Maybe not put in so many stairs, or maybe make your stairs so they'll easily change into ramps. If you have a lot of stairs in your house, you might go ahead and put in handrails now. It's a lot easier. Trust me, it is a lot easier. And I wish we would have been able to buy our homestead like when we were in our early 30s instead of in our mid to late 40s, because it does make a difference in your vitality and in the ability, just the flexibility of your body. So do this while you're young. Make these plans now. Think about, okay, this door looks awesome, but can I get a wheelchair if I have to have knee surgery? And this is good for anybody, even if you're living on a homestead, you're doing things the old way. And so probably, there's a higher risk of injury. Unfortunately, you might live farther from hospital, all that kind of thing. So think about, if I hurt my knee, if I hurt my foot, can I get a walker through this door? Can I get a walker up to this floor? Do I have a bathroom and a place that I can sleep and be with a bathroom on every floor? Think about these things now. If you can't put a bathroom on a certain floor, think about putting a composting toilet in some sort of RV sink where the water is stored in a container or something and it pumps. Think about these things now so you can approach your elderly years and be able to stay on the homestead that you want. It's just a matter of adapting and retooling your thinking and your goals and planning for things to take a lot longer than they do when you're young. When we bought our homestead, we knew it was going to be at least 5 years for us to get done the things that probably would have only taken us 2 years if we were younger. But there's some days we go up there and I just can't get on the ground. It's not that I don't want to. My body will not allow me to sit on the ground. I mean, it's sometimes the flexibility just isn't there. So you have to adapt. Sometimes I'm able to sit on a stool and do something. Sometimes I'm able to hook my tool on some other piece of wood, like a scraper or something, and sit on a chair. You have to really think of different ways to get things done, and you have to allow yourself to do less in a longer period of time. And I always say, I go back to the turtle and the hare, and I have been saying this since I was 14 years old. Slow and steady wins the race. And it's really difficult when I was 14 to 18 and I wanted to get things done. I had the energy, but I didn't have the physical ability because of my back situation. I had steel rods and all the muscles had been cut down the middle of my back. So my back is a good deal of scar tissue down the middle, and I can rip and pull things very, very easily. And it's not worth getting something done in 20 minutes if I'm going to be without the use of that arm and shoulder for 6 months. So I've had to really adapt. And so the same things that I've had to do with a physical disability are the same things you have to do as your body ages and you reach your elderly years. So think about it now if you're young, and make plans for it now. It's easier now. If you are in your middle years like we were when we started with the homestead, not with the lifestyle, but with the actual home. I've been doing this like most of my life. So it's not, I just had to, and like I said, I was already adapted anyway, but the homestead for Chris, it's been an adaptation because he's always been strong and healthy. Now as he ages, his biggest struggle is with the patience, and that is what you have to allow yourself to go slower and try different things. And it's hard to to rein in that mental thing. I don't know the word for it. The mental thing that you want to get it done, and you think, 10 years ago I could, but it was 10 years ago. You gotta wrap your mind around you're a human being, you're a human machine, and just like any other antique or collectible item that is old, it's gonna be fragile, and there's gonna be things it can't do anymore. So this article addresses some of that innovation in your older years to continue on in the lifestyle of being self-reliant for as long as possible. And so I hope you check out this article in Prepper Survival Guide. And there's also sorts of other awesome things in here talking about the civil unrest issues, protecting your home, and skills and gear to acquire. And it's just an awesome magazine. And I will leave the subscription information in the box below. So thank you for joining us today.